Hello and welcome back to the Lore Raider. The last challenge we did was on NES Metroid, and that was a pain and a half to get through. So this time, let's jump to a more modern game. So join me today as we ask the question, can you beat Metroid Fusion with only missiles? Before we begin the run, we need to discuss the rules. I'm only allowed to harm or kill enemies with the missiles. Whenever I encounter a door I haven't entered before, I must open them with the missiles, but then I can use beams for every other attempt I go through the door. And finally, no game-breaking glitches, as that, in my opinion, ruins the spirit of a challenge run. With that out of the way, let's jump in. So we begin Metroid Fusion with a bang. Samus gets infected by a mysterious creature on the surface of SR-388 that causes her to crash into an asteroid field and narrowly eject in time. She is then taken into emergency surgery where her life is saved thanks to the vaccine Metroid, however her armor has been stripped away. With that, we arrive on the BSL space station and given orders by our onboard AI, who informs us something is going on aboard the station and we need to investigate. Whilst my past self does the first few rooms before we get the missiles, allow me to explain the nuances of the run. Metroid Fusion would seem at first glance to be a much more difficult run than any we have done prior. However, Fusion not only has a modern control scheme, something the NES run lacked, as well as the original Metroid 2 lacked, but I can also aim in 8 directions, which massively improves Samus' viability. Couple that with the fact that I've done a deathless no-save Fusion run before, and I feel confident in my abilities. Anyway, I grabbed the missile data from the download station, and the run can truly begin. Adam the AI informs us something has knocked out the power to the elevator, and as such we are forced to travel through the side ducts to progress, grabbing the first missile expansion right in the open before grabbing this hidden one soon after. Continuing forward, I managed to fend off both a human zombie researcher and defeat the boss door in my way, and make my way to the first boss room where I encounter an old enemy, Arachnus. In my OG Metroid 2 run, I simply ran away from the bastard as he was too strong, and by that I mean he couldn't be hurt by the missiles. However, now the tables have turned. Still, it was almost a hairy fight as I turned him into a Core X with the last missile. We stop using the green X floating around, and finish him off grabbing the Morph Ball bombs. With the Morph Ball secured, we make our way back to Adam the AI, who informs us the X have broken into the SRX environment and are shifting the atmosphere for their own ends, meaning we need to stop it. Heading down the elevator, we find out that the X parasites have not only copied my power suit, but they're attempting a missile-only run themselves? Wonder how that'll go for him. SRX is extremely easy to accomplish. The X-infested atmospheric units constantly spew X for you to use in healing yourself and resupplying your ammo, as well as supplying you with much needed extra munitions. Once we clear out every last atmospheric stabilizer, we find a Chozo statue housing a item for us, but it turns into a Core X. Oh no! A Core X! Whatever will I do about... Oh, it's dead. Moving along to the elevator ride, Samus misremembers the abuse and trauma she suffered at the hands of Adam. We make our way back to Adam, who tells us the SEX is in fact doing a missile-only challenge run. Oh, and sends us to Sector 2 Tropical to unlock the Level 1 security hatches, which we do pretty easily before we delve deeper into the sector. When I made it to Sector 2, I was overconfidently killing all the enemies in my path, thinking I would just be topped off thanks to the abundance of X. However, near the end of the sector, I was dangerously low on missiles, and as you can see, I literally had to save scum attempts to get these dumb enemies to drop a green X. Eventually, after way too much save scumming, I had 3 missiles, and I needed them to defeat the boss door, which supplied me with, thankfully, a red X, restoring my missile count, and we confront Zabazi. Zabazi is a boss you absolutely cannot let hit you. If he does his jump attack and lands on you, you have to use the bombs to break free, which damages him and will then break the rules. Luckily, I never got hit by him, and I finish off the X-Imposter's form, leaving the Core X behind, which I easily defeat and grab the bomb jump upgrade from. On our way to leave, we stumbled into the SAX, who had apparently just cleared this empty room here. Luckily, since it entered from the other side, the use of the beam to exit the room is perfectly legal. Not to be outdone in my run, of course, we leave Sector 2 to make our way to Sector 4. But on our way, we declare SEX to be just like me, only heartless, because it didn't have the balls to start the game with no items, like me. Moving on to Sector 4 Aqua, it was home to the deadly Ceres specimen, and Adam gave me permission to destroy it. I stumbled upon its skeleton of the Ceres, however, and thinking the problem was solved, I innocently tried to leave when the rapscallion ambushed me out of nowhere. Of course, Ceres is easy with quick enough reflexes, and if you know the pattern, you shouldn't take much damage. And so, I managed to dispatch the overgrown amphibian, and after killing it, I gained the always fun Speed Booster. We make our way back to Adam, who tells us the SEX is trying to halt our progress by destroying the upgrade rooms. The cheating bastard was trying to ruin my run, and I was none too happy. Moving along, I landed in Sector 3 Pyro, unlocked the level 2 door locks, and I also managed to get the super missiles, which unfortunately consume my normal ammo reserves unlike most other games, which kinda sucks, and oh no! Wee woo! It's Mother Brain, guys! Remember that Metroid Trainer theory? It's Mother Brain! The galaxy's greatest mind as a security robot! Wow, what a reference, white guys! Oh, it left. Well, bye, Mother Brain. See you later. Anyway, I return to Adam, who tells me that now all the X are totally conspiring with the SX to ruin my challenge run. The scum. Especially the fact that they've created the Blue Ice X specifically to get me kills. Cheaters. However, as I journey through the nocturnal Sector 6, not only would I encounter the SEX again, which was still obeying her missile-only run, you'll notice it shoots an empty door, so it doesn't count, but I run into the Barrier Core X. As you can see in the footage, I try and damage the massive X parasite, but to no avail. I try to charge down its defensive orbs to see if the boss's core itself could be hurt by the missiles, but again, I was halted dead in my tracks. With no way around the boss, given the linear nature of Fusion, I am forced to defeat the Barrier Core X, grab the various suits, and I can safely say that we failed the run. However, let's see how far we can go without breaking the rules again. Leaving Sector 6 behind for Sector 5, we go and make our way to unlock the next set of locks. I grab the Ice Missile upgrade while I'm in the area, and all of a sudden the SEX is trying to blow up the goddamn station.
Warning. Emergency in Sector 3. Main cooling system offline.
Jesus, the slime ball can't try and win legitimately? No, it has to try to blow me up? Anyway, I rushed through the crumbling station, I shot an X-Parasite nerd in the face, and promptly deactivated the meltdown. I saved the animals from back during my original missile-only Super Metroid run, so glad to see some familiar faces and seeing they're cheering me on my new missile-only run. Even though I already lost, but let's not tell them that. Finally, Adam informed me that yet again the X have fucked with the station's power, meaning it's up to me to get things up and running again. Meaning I have to take on none other than the giant nope known as Yakuza. Yakuza was a boss that certainly hits like a truck, but ultimately, he meets the same fate as all spiders. A missile to the face, and by a missile I mean like 20 missiles to the face. With the auxiliary power back online, I was forced to track down the source of the vines infesting the generators. I was ambushed by my rival, SAX, but I froze her before she could get off a shot, so I'm not sure if she would have maintained her missile-only rule set. Ah well, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, my adventures in tracking the vines down led me to Nettery, who was more annoying than difficult in this fight, and I managed to dispatch of him fairly quickly. From there, an explosion occurs in Sector 5, meaning I have to traverse the godforsaken scrap heap of a zone to fight off the Nightmare, who I was skeptical if I could even destroy his generator with missiles. However, despite the fact that the gravity drastically reduces my range, enough shots with the missiles destroyed it, and from there he was finished off rather easily. From there, I do a little skinny dipping in my entirely full-body gravity suit, cry when I realize I cannot get the energy tank that's just behind this door, unlock the level 4 security locks, and make my triumphant escape. I said, I made my triumphant escape. Triumphant escape! I grabbed the diffusion missile upgrade as well. Adam tells me I need to put down the rogue box robot, Mother Brain, who's running amok. And turns out Mother Brain also attempts a missile-only run, and while she almost succeeds, her missiles aren't alive, so I can shoot them with regular beams and just barely finish her off with very little health to spare. I totally accidentally stumble my way into the hidden lab, expose the SEX to be the slimy, not missile-using fraud she always was, and escape with my life. Well, SEX, there's a moral to this story.
I'm sorry, you know what? Kids, this is why lying never pays off.
After making my way out of the hidden lab, Adam assures me the Metroids are being used for only peaceful purposes, and I don't know about you guys, but when I think of Adam Malkovich, this is the face of someone who definitely wouldn't shoot me in the back and leave me at the mercy of a Metroid who's hovering right above me, right? Right. Anyway, as I make my way towards Neo Ridley, I am forced to kill these creatures with the power bomb. You're forced to. However, I don't think this counts against me, as it's clearly a puzzle, as when you kill them, they then turn into golden pirate X's, which then I defeat legitimately. But of course I'll leave the ruling up to the viewer. Moving past the golden pirates, I am forced to finally confront Neo Ridley himself, which, oh my fucking god, the missiles are downright worthless against this boss, and it was the closest fight I've ever had in this game, or any challenge run perhaps, where I had almost no health, came this close to running out of missiles, and I hadn't saved in a while, so if I died to this guy, I would have lost hours of progress. But with him finally dead, barely, we get the screw attack, which, as you can see in this clip, it is pretty trivial to avoid hitting enemies with it, and we are finally at the end game. Adam tells me he thinks the Federation, yes, this Galactic Federation, is about to capture the SAX. I tell him he's a big dumb idiot, and we both agree to blow up the station instead. This is where I come face to face with that cheating slime SAX. You know what? I decided, unlike the cheating slime, I'll try to keep to my challenge run by treating the SAX like a Metroid in any other game, freezing her first before hitting her with the charge beam. The SAX, on the other hand, gets desperate and stops using her weapons and grows larger, and then tries to hop on me like a frog. Clearly an attempt to make this an old-fashioned fistfight. However, she is 19 years too early before Samus gets the counter move, so with no physical attacks of my own, I am forced to gun her down, and then I end up dead. But the second attempt, I do fight again and win, but SAX escapes with her life. I attempt to activate the self-destruct sequence, and I do, beginning my escape, and oh look, it's the SAX, and oh no! SAX died. Well, you know, SAX, there is a moral to this story.
Oh, I'm sorry, you know what? Kids, this is why lying never pays off.
Anyway, having failed the run already, I am forced to use the Ice Beam to finish off the Omega Metroid, escaping the imminent destruction of SR-388, and as Samus recognizes she's now a wanted fugitive, we can confirm that you cannot beat Metroid Fusion with only the missiles. Yes, unfortunately, this run was an epic failure, but I still think it was very fun, and you can still beat most of the game with only missiles. It isn't nearly as painstaking as NES-troid, where I'm, like, dying to the controls themselves. It's not like the original Metroid 2, where, you know, I can't aim to save my life. Metroid Fusion has all the modern amenities of a Metroid game, and that's honestly enough to make it mostly doable. So, even though we officially failed this run, I had fun. And I hope you enjoyed my triumphant Metroid return in 2023. But you know how I leave you. Be safe, be wise, and please pray for true peace in space.